Welcome back to the Gentleman's Gazette. In today's video, we're going to discuss which patterns will best fit your body type. Now, when addressing your body type, the goal may not necessarily be to make you look taller, shorter, thinner, or wider. It could be simply to make you look proportional. Now, perhaps your legs are long and your torso is short, or vice versa. But the goal is to use patterns on the fabric of your clothing to even these out, and in turn, make you appear visually more proportional, which will by proxy give you the desired appearance of being taller, shorter, thinner, you name it. Now let's discuss types of patterns. And to begin, let's look at a few basics. We'll be looking at patterns such as checks. Now these should be familiar to everybody. A check pattern is one that is typically made up of vertical and horizontal lines that cross over each other. Now that's what's going to make these small box shapes. Common check patterns include Prince of Wales, tartan, gingham, and window pane. Now you can find out more about different types of checks here. Now we will also be covering stripes in today's video. And while stripes may appear very simple, they can change the overall look of an outfit, so it's important to get right. Common stripe patterns include the awning stripe at 1/4 of an inch and pencil stripes at 1/8 of an inch. Now pin stripes are very thin at about 1/30th of an inch and give the impression of pinpricks. And also chalk stripes, which can come in thinner or wider patterns. If you want to learn more about different types of stripes in menswear, check out our video here. Now, however, before we go any further, let's debunk a few myths. The idea that horizontal stripes make someone look wider is almost common knowledge, except that an optical illusion discovered in the 1920s by Hermann von Helmholtz argued the opposite. When placing two identical sized squares side by side, it was decided that the square with the horizontal stripes actually looked 6% thinner than the vertical stripes. So that should put the old myth to bed, right? Well, actually, it didn't. Why, you ask? Because on a 3D body, especially on someone who is already large, the horizontal stripes make a person look wider, and they are guiding our eyes outward. The illusion comes from the perfect 2D square shape, rather than from the lines themselves. So you should definitely consider this when choosing patterns for your body type. Now let's discuss micropatterns. Now micropatterns are very small patterns, sometimes made of repeated imagery. These can come in checks, stripes, or tartans. They can even come in Macclesfield patterns, which are often used in linings and tie fabrics. Now let's discuss large patterns. Now large patterns are, well, the opposite of micropatterns. So let's move on. Now let's talk a bit about body types. Let's apply this newfound knowledge to our body types and find out how we can always look our best. Now it's a good idea to consider all of these patterns and all of these body types, because not everyone's body will fit into any one category. And seeing as though we wear clothing all over our body, it's important to consider all aspects and all parts of our body. For example, you may want to appear taller, but it could be that you have a long torso and short legs. Thus, it would be a good idea for you to wear striped pants, but not striped shirts, as this would also make your torso appear longer and thus ruin the balance. Because of this, we recommend watching the whole video to get a good grasp on how to use these patterns for your body type. Now let's first discuss the wider gentleman. And when it comes to stripes, if you're a gentleman on the wider side of things, you probably don't want to make yourself look wider by wearing horizontal stripes. Now we would definitely recommend wearing vertical stripes over horizontal stripes, which will help you emphasize your height rather than your width, and thus make you look more proportional. Also, try wearing thick stripes. Now a thin pinstripe, however, will make you appear bigger in comparison to the pattern. And so it's better for you to go for thicker stripes, for example a chalk stripe, if you want to appear smaller than you actually are. Do not go for any tiny checks. Checkered shirts will also not work for you. Opt instead for wide check patterns. If you want to wear more of a complicated check on a suit, for example a Prince of Wales, try to find it in a bigger pattern rather than on the trendier side where it's much smaller. Also, a wider pattern, such as a tartan for a jacket, or even a window pane, will complement your figure more. Now when it comes to other patterns, such as for your shirt or tie, also go for bigger patterns here as well, if only just to match and balance out the rest of your outfit. Now if you're going for a paisley or a Macclesfield pattern, also go for a bigger print. Now you should avoid micropatterns at all costs. These patterns will make you appear larger in comparison to the fabric. And you should also avoid bright and vibrant colors. Vibrant and bright colors make you stick out against your background, and this in turn can make you appear bigger than you actually are. Instead, opt for more muted colors in your wardrobe. If you'd like to learn more about how to dress for this body type, we recommend our style guide for the big and tall man, which you can find here. Now that we've covered information about patterns and how they work with a wider gentleman, let's also discuss thin gentlemen. And now if you're a thinner man, the one thing you don't want to be doing is emphasizing how thin you actually are by wearing wide lapel jackets or tight-fitting pants. The same goes for the kind of patterns you choose to wear. Now if you wish to wear stripes as a thinner gentleman, you could always opt to wear a horizontal stripe to better emphasize your width. However, you could also look good in vertical stripes as well. Now don't wear bold stripes. If you're a thinner man, the one thing you don't want to do is emphasize how thin you are by wearing a bold stripe. Now doing so will give the illusion that you aren't as wide as you actually are, and visually it would look like there are less stripes on your suit. Fitting more stripes onto your body will give the illusion that you have more space on your body to fit those stripes on. This in turn will make you look much wider. You essentially want to scale up your body size by making other things on your body appear slimmer. Try wearing thin stripes. For a suit, the stripes will most likely be well spaced. Now this is much better than closer spaced stripes. For a shirt, you can afford to go for stripes with closer spacing. With checks, you can follow the same principles as with stripes. Now don't wear any wide checks. Wide checks run the risk of, again, making you appear thinner in comparison to the weave of the fabric. Instead, focus on wearing medium-sized checks on your suits, and perhaps even a micro check on your shirts. This will give the illusion that your body is actually bigger in comparison to your clothes fabric. Other patterns such as paisley can be difficult for anybody to get right, but if you're on the thinner side, we definitely recommend some smaller micro patterns instead of any large prints or any large Macclesfield patterns. If you're feeling brave, you can try wearing bold colors. This will make you stand out against the background and make you appear much bigger than you actually are. If you'd like to learn more about dressing as a slimmer man, you can check out our Slim Man Style Guide here. Now let's talk about short people. Now as a man, there's often the stigma about being short or looking short, but never fear, stripes are here. Now you should be wearing vertical stripes. Regardless of your width at this point, if the main goal here is to increase your height, vertical stripes is the main thing you want to be focusing on. They draw the eye upwards, emphasizing length over width, making you appear taller. Stripes that are close together, especially stripes that have more than one color, will help you appear taller. If you're interested in wearing a check, it may be helpful to wear a check that is more rectangular, something that is taller than it is wide to better help you emphasize length and height. Try wearing micro checks. When trying to wear large checks, you're actually working against the illusion and will make yourself appear smaller in comparison to the fabric. You should also try wearing micro patterns. Most patterns are open to you, as long as you're wearing micro patterns, as long as you're not wearing anything that's too long, wide, or large. And you should also try wearing a houndstooth. Houndstooth patterns can really help make a short person look taller because of the nature of its shape and the colors. Now, a micro houndstooth will really complement your body type because of its textured appearance and its small size. Now, if you're very tall, you'll likely want to emphasize your width to make yourself look more proportional. As we said previously, a vertical stripe pattern can make you appear taller. So if you don't want to appear like a beanstalk, this might be something you want to stay away from. However, this doesn't mean that horizontal stripes are off limits to you. You should be wearing thicker stripes. Wearing a wider vertical stripe pattern in your suit can help bring your body back into proportion and help you appear not to be so lanky. Now, you should try simple stripes that have just maybe one or two colors in them for your shirts. Instead of vertical stripes, especially where shirts or polos are concerned, you should try wearing horizontal stripes. Now this will put more emphasis on your width and help you to appear broader. Now to complement this, you can wear horizontal stripes in a variety of colors and widths. As a taller man, you'll want to wear much larger check patterns, preferably some with rectangles that are wider than they are tall. This will help emphasize your width. Now you should stay away from wearing micro checks. The small squares will make your body look larger in proportion, and thus emphasize how tall you are. Remember, the idea here is to make yourself look more proportional. So rather than wearing something with small checks that make you look more like a skyscraper or an office building, wear something with larger checks that make you appear more like a house, for example. And you should also try wearing large patterns. Now, bold colors can help you stand out against the background. If you want to emphasize width over height, it might be a good idea to wear light and bright colored tops to better emphasize your chest area. This way your chest area will contrast with your jacket and pants. Best to achieve the appearance that you want, whether that's to look taller, shorter, thinner, or wider, using patterns to best complement your body type. Of course, patterns can't physically change your body size, but using them to look more proportional will help even you out visually. For bigger and taller men, large patterns and horizontal stripes are best. For shorter men, vertical stripes can help achieve the look of a longer body. And for thinner men, small patterns and close stripes can help you appear girthier and broader. Now it's obvious that we all don't fit neatly into one category. Now you could be tall and thin, or tall and wide, short and wide, or short and thin, etc. So make sure to take advice from all of today's body categories and do what's best to address your unique body type. However, patterns can only do so much to help you. Other things to consider to help you to achieve that perfect look: consider the cut of your suit and the proportions of your garments. Now, if you'd like to learn more about this, you can check out our video here. And if you're interested in casual style, check out our video about jeans and body type here. For many years, I've been using varying sizes of checks and stripes in my sport coats and shirts to appear what I thought in my head would make me look more muscular. Now, as I have grown, I have been purchasing more solid colors, the occasional stripes, but also bigger check patterns. I rarely will seek out checked pants as I don't usually want to appear much wider than I am, but I do own a few pair of both small check pattern pants and some wider window pane pants. Personally, I never really enjoyed wearing pinstripes on my suits. It was always something that I found that looked really nice on a mannequin, but as we all know, everything looks different when you put it on your own body. I always felt that it made me look a little bit bigger than I am, so I usually like to wear something that's a little bit wider when it comes to stripes in my suits. Now today I'm wearing a tan and cream sport coat in a checked pattern, pairing that with a brown crew neck sweater and a white dress shirt, and of course finishing off the top half of my outfit with a really unique pocket square from Fort Belvedere in a burgundy color with little rabbits on them as well. And then I have a dark pair of denim and my Red Wing boots, and of course my shadow stripe brown and light blue Fort Belvedere socks. Check out the Fort Belvedere shop here for socks like these.